Good evening to you, Mark Suttoth, HurricaneTrack.com here with your Hurricane Pro in HD video blog for September 3rd, 2013. Let's take a look at what's going on out there. 3 areas of interest. One off the coast of Africa here. Probably not going to develop, although there is more activity over interior Africa that the global models, the Euro and the GFS, pretty excited about. We'll worry about that if and when the time comes. Then we have Invest Area 97L. This is trying to slowly develop, and I think it's going to be something that does become a tropical storm somewhere in this area over the next few days. So interest from the Greater Antilles here into the Bahamas. Going to want to watch this closely. And then we have another area here crossing the Yucatan that'll probably develop a very quick fuse, short-lived storm in the Bay of Campeche, like we saw with Tropical Storm Fernan several days ago now. Hey, look at a visible satellite shot as the sun is setting in the western Atlantic here. Won't worry about anything in, the eastern Atlantic's where the sun is setting. Still have sunshine in the western Atlantic. Here's our large tropical wave envelope of energy. 97L slowly trying to organize and get its act together as the general mess of weather moves off in this direction and then probably on out to sea. And then this tropical wave holds promise to develop as it goes across the Bay of Campeche. So interest all across this region in for another dose of showers and heavy rain squalls at times. That's basically been the pattern, that development is waiting until it gets over the systems, the seedlings, waiting till they get into the western part of the Atlantic Basin to develop. Looking at the vorticity signature, again, this is a good benchmark for determining how things may pan out with certain development potentials. And we notice we still have a very oblong shape to the vorticity signature with 97L over here, but it's starting to slowly consolidate, maybe just a little bit. Still has a lot of work to do. Probably not going to do much until it gets up here, as I mentioned. And then a pretty good area of vorticity coming off the Cape Verde Islands. Again, we'll just wait and watch, see what happens with that. And then probably going to see a small area of vorticity spin in the atmosphere, develop in the Bay of Campeche, and then move its way towards the northwest over time, impacting somewhere along the Mexican coastline over the next few days. I want to show you the GFS real quick. This is from the 12Z run today. I'm just going to loop it out to the 5-day time frame, and I'll point out what's going on here. Keep your eye on this area right here in the Bay of Campeche. There's that low that the model, the GFS here, tries to develop very briefly. So, I'll say it's got a decent shot of something developing there, excuse me, over the next several days. Very heavy rainfall for that region. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Still have that pesky summertime cold hanging around like a relative that just never leaves. Bad analogy, but man, it's aggravating. Then you can also see what happens with 97L here in the southeast Bahamas slowly take shape. Nothing really significant with it, but could bring some gusty winds and rather inclement weather to portions of the extreme southeast Bahamas over the next few days. And then, of course, the eastern Atlantic here remaining unsettled. Hard to determine exactly if something will develop or not. We've been seeing some pretty strong Saharan air layer outbreaks out here. Dusty, dry, warm air putting a cap on things. If anything does get going out that far east, of course, it'll take it several days, a week at the earliest, to even reach the islands. So there's a few things to look at, but nothing imminently threatening to land areas of any real significance, though, as I mentioned, probably more often than I should. It gets a little old maybe, but heavy rainfall is a problem even with tropical disturbances, and as 97L moves through the Greater Antilles, that could dump several inches of rain across that region, and that could be a problem, something to always keep in mind with even the weakest of tropical systems. Well, that is it for today. Again, I am Mark Suttoth, HurricaneTrack.com. That's my website. That's the 6 o'clock hour beeping. Don't know if you heard that. Always a privilege and an honor to do these videos for you on Hurricane Pro in HD. I'll be back with more info for you tomorrow.